a riddle on the screen and a bop in the beat. Crystal's got a theory and she's bringing the heat. With a playlist rolling and a case to crack, she's digging through the weird and she ain't looking back. Crystal's crime and music. Hey, hey, hey. Weird little whispers and a beat that slays. She's grooving through the rumors, dancing through the doubt. Hop on the stream and help her figure it out. She's got headphones on and snacks in hand. She's sleuthing in slippers, ain't it grand? Crimes and chords, it's a curious mix, but she'll remix that mystery just for kicks. Crystal's crime and music, let's roll. Talking strange old stories with a heart and soul. From cryptic clues to a disco track, she's chasing down weirdness and never looks back. She don't solve crime, just talks and vibes with a keyboard click and detective drive. She's got music moods and wild ideas and a soft spot for victims through the years. Is that a ghost? Or just bad Wi-Fi? Did that dude lie? Or is it all a sigh? Whatever the twist, Crystal's on the screen with a snack, a song, and a mystery meme. So grab your tea and your favorite chair. She's cracking up theories out of thin air. One part groove, one part hum. It's Crystal's show, let's have some fun. Crystal's crime and music, tune it loud, where the silly gets spooky and the beats are proud. She's laughing, guessing, and spilling the tea. Come vibe with the queen of crime and melody.
Damn, that bull makes me cough. Welcome, everybody. Sorry I didn't come live last night. The holidays kind of get me down. You know, I really haven't been in the mood. Haven't been like answering my messages like I should and things like that. So I apologize to everybody. Just been busy, and you guys know it's the holidays. But anyway, so tonight, I think what I'm going to start with is I wanted to go over yesterday morning some things that were said this week. So I think that's where we're going to start. Hi, Island Diva. They get you down to, yeah, I hate the holidays. I just do. Like, I love them, but at the same time, I hate them. It isn't like I hate them totally. I love like being around the grandbabies and watching the grandbabies open gifts, but you know, you miss your mom and the people that ain't with you no more, and it's not the same when your kids are grown. Kind of like that empty nest syndrome, you know? All right. So we're going to start here. Let me play my copyright. And we're going to start with Ziggy, because the one thing I've been wanting to talk about is she gave us a small update on her and Chris McDonough. Not major about it, just something to listen to hear what she said. It's just a small clip. So I'll let that play.
Hey, Marlene. Thank you guys for stopping by. I know you guys have a bunch of preparations to do, and I know I haven't been on much lately, but after the holiday season, I'll come back more regularly, especially if we have any type of movement in Summer's case, you know. Eventually, maybe we'll be able to share. Once Chris thinks we haven't talked to Chris again, but have to give him some time. You know, he's going to need time to make anything happen if he can, because with the holidays and everything. So I don't know when it will be before we could share that call, or before he shares it. I don't care. He can do it.
So there she said she also has a copy of this call and recorded it. I don't understand why we're waiting, Ziggy. Why don't you just put it out and force his hand so that he has to put it out? Because I'm pretty sure he's probably sending it to the police. That's what I'm hoping for. I hope Chris McDonough, for once in his goddamn pathetic life, will do the right thing, because so far he hasn't seemed fruitful to Summer's case, in my opinion.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. But so we know we'll have that, maybe in a couple months or something. And we're doing a reading with Donna. We were supposed to do it a couple days ago, but I messed it up. We slept through it, to be honest. I screwed up. And anyways.
So she also has another interview with Donna scheduled, but she screwed it up. So I wonder if Donna's pissed off, because she hasn't mentioned it since then. And this was like Christmas Eve, I think.
Kind of forgot. I was taking a nap and then I slept through the alarm. We both did. So that's going to be rescheduled till after the holidays too. Really, the better, the more you brown the flour pie, the better. Definitely don't have any dream of being a YouTube star. Is not my. People are.
I love that in her, because she has no dreams of being a YouTube star, but she come out here with that fake CPS report that we're getting ready to talk about. And she plays Hearthstone now, and she has done resin, and she reads tarot cards, and she's just a woman of many talents that comes out here and dry begs for money and panhandles online, right? Who were the messages with you showed a couple days ago? That was Karen Renfro, Moonshine Girl. Those were the messages between me and Karen Renfro. Karen lives on Lighthauler Road, and she's really close to Benny, which is odd, because we'll get more into that another day. Okay. She's also best friends with Glenda Head.
So crazy on that. Meaning the creators. Well, some of the subscribers too, can't lie. Okay, I'm about to add the milk.
Mama Bear, why did he threaten to unalive your son? I've been hiding in the bushes and watching, just so you know. I've seen what's going on. Crazy. I have no clue, Island Diva. That's a really good question, don't you think? She took all of her content down, just like Squad H did. I'd like to know what happened to the both of them. Oh, and Annie Saranac Light.
That's crazy, Tiffany. That's the same thing I first started seeing was 333, and then it changed to 1111. So, and then when I learned Fred's birthday was 1111, dude, that blew me away. I'm like, okay, that's definitely a message. Which I always knew that I didn't think we'd be together relationship wise, but I did think that there was something about. I don't know. It just felt like there was something. I just really felt like he'd be important to the case from the very first time I met him. But yeah, finding out his birthday was 11/11, and I had just started seeing 11/11 and 1/11.
Nothing against Tiffany. We all have our quirks. Like, I see 1238. That's the time I was born. Everywhere. If you look in magazines that have a clock on it, all clocks are stuck at 1238, no matter where they're selling the fucking clocks. So I have a thing for numbers too. I'm not saying it's wrong, but Ziggy gets really animated and lives her life around these numbers. Like, oh my God, I seen 1010 in the Uber on the way to her parents, and I seen 1111 and 333 and 777. Like, it's just too much to live your life surrounded around numbers. You know what I mean? Like, that's like an autistic trait, isn't it?
It was probably which I would have known his birthday was 11/11, like, but I didn't pay much attention because, like, when I did his family tree and stuff, you know, I might have seen it then, but I didn't really realize it was 1/11 or 11/11 until around the time he went to jail, because that's when we started talking more regularly. I thought we were supposed to like meet. We're meant to meet, and for some reason, but I didn't think it.
Crazy, mama.
Yeah, I know. Oh, 444s means is about stability. That's about the home. I know that one for sure. 3s is about like
jinx.
It's usually about working together, teamwork. But anyways, yeah, you're good. Go. Look, I looked down right when it said 1010. Guys, what's 1010? Drop the zeros. It's 11. Just like I was just saying 101. What WTF?
It was this
You're kidding me.
A WTF. If you drop the zeros.
So I can't believe that. That's crazy. I can't believe that. Like that. When I looked at the phone, it said 111 in chat. Then I saw. Then what was I seeing also?
I'm not saying it's abnormal to be superstitious. I think everybody has a little bit of superstition in them. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is Ziggy just attaches herself to it and lives her life based on numbers and tarot cards, things that are not real. You know? Yeah, it's his youngest sister, the one up her line, told them about him. That's the only thing they know is who was. Dude got Mama Bear. All I'm going to say about that is them kids were in the room while he was flipping the fuck out. And that's a scary environment to live in. Especially when we see that he could possibly be extremely abusive to Tammy. He definitely takes advantage. He took naked photos of another woman and showed them to his girl, and like that's just not something wrong with them people over there, man. I'm telling you, I'm trying with them, but there's no, as a woman, I can't condone the things that Munch does. I would never mess with tarot cards, just saying. No, look, I have tarot cards, but I don't believe in them. I just got them because people gave them to me. Munch, plead the fifth. Mama Bear's having problems with him. That Booger Weird WEIR channel, he's friends with Andrew Hiltz. Yeah, I'm trying to stay out of it, Mama Bear, but no, I got your back if need be. I think you got it pretty handled. You and the old man, you're both pretty good. You got it. He was pissed last night. Tell your husband I'm sorry.
And I saw this 1010. I saw 101. Jennifer does these birth charts, and she did one for.
Here's what I'll say to you, Mama Bear. You got a great man. The fact that he got that upset somebody was messing with you and defended you, that's true love. Just know we all see it.
For Fred, and it does show that he is like fated in some way, connected to Summer Wells. So, you know, that could be good or bad. You know, it can be anything, but there's a spectrum of what it could be. I, of course, definitely feel like it's like I definitely feel like chosen to be the one that, because nobody else could have dealt with this situation like he has. Have you guys seen how much like hate he gets and stuff? And I know a lot of it's because of him, like working with me, or you know, him. I feel like a lot of the hate is because of me. Like if it was somebody else he was talking to, I think it would have been way different. But you know, yeah, it's good. I want it to bubble, but not. I have on only on.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to go over, Ziggy's done and over with. We just wasted 14 minutes. All I really wanted you to hear was her Chris McDonough information and that she has yet another interview coming up with Serafina. Everybody thank Little Dev because she's amazing. She says hello to everybody that comes in. She makes sure to put my information up. She doesn't miss any beats, and our mods are not paid in any way. They offer and volunteer to come into our chats and to mod for us. And I think it's kind. I think it's kindness, and I just please thank Little Dev because she's amazing. You think she burnt that gravy there? She did a good job making it. I ain't gonna lie. She gave me a recipe for it. I'm not saying Ziggy doesn't have talent. What I'm saying is Ziggy uses her talent to grift. All right. So the next thing we're going to go over that happened this week is Jody Sue. You have amazing mods as well. I'll tell you what, I'm grateful for the mods that I picked, and I'm happy I picked the ones I picked. I'm pleased. Okay. Next clip, Jody Sue Brown. Now, she has played some of this conversation in the past between her and Benny. However, the other day she played a little more of it. I have a question that's going to be asked in here. I'd like to hear the rest of the conversation where Benny and Jody spoke about me. That's where she starts the recording. Now, it'll play halfway through the first time, and then she plays it again. I know, Marie. She's amazing. Thank you. But she'll play it again. But when she plays it the second time, she goes on a little further, and I think there's some information in it that you guys should be listening to. However, my real question about all of this shit is what the fuck was you fucking saying about me? You got something to say, you might as well fucking play the rest of it, right? Because you ain't right in the head, Jody Sue, either. I'm not saying I'm a perfect human, but fuck you. Okay.
I'm too.
My children harm Swales in another case. She ain't real stable. It takes a real crazy bitch to say some shit like that. Crystal ain't real stable. No. And that they're working with fucking Andy, and you tell me what kind of fuckstick goes and gets the chick who's threatened to murder your baby mama and murder the camper down. And you mean
that's clearly someone that doesn't give a fuck about what they said about his own daughter.
Yeah, and then to be releasing phone calls of our son too, and all sort of shit, and they're there on his fucking Facebook. Are you kidding me, dude? And two bitches, including Adrian and Jenny, who said that they're gonna annihilate me at all costs in my life and take everything from me, and knowingly lied.
Yeah, I mean, they knowingly lied.
I got proof they did. Hell, even my Adrian's dumbass posted the other proofs it.
I got proof they lied to me and then lied to somebody else about the lie they told me. It just never stopped. Once I saw one lie, I realized that these stupid bitches.
But what the fuck are they in it for, Keyz?
I do not know. That's a good. That's the question.
I'm told one wants fame and one.
Benny, the only question I have is what was on that computer that you sent to Adrian? Why are you sending Adrian such lavish gifts? You're also going to hear Benny say that he still is in contact with Penny. After all that fake fighting that they did, all the attacking him and Tiffany did on Penny. However, him and Penny are still extremely close. You're going to hear Benny say that. I'll pause it and then I'll continue. And this was recorded while Benny was on break from YouTube at the judge's order.
There's just blackmailed into it and one whatever, and
I mean, they were, and I feel bad because no one had a power around to get them where they were than me. Because what if they
somebody was
helping them? It was benign.
Do you know who? She ain't real stable. It takes a real crazy bitch to say some shit like that. Crystal ain't real stable.
No, she's not.
And that they're working with fucking Andy, and you tell me what kind of fuckstick goes and gets the chick who's threatened to murder your baby mama and murder the camper down. And you mean
that's clearly someone that doesn't give a fuck about what they said about his own daughter.
Yeah, and then to be releasing phone calls of our son too, and all sort of shit, and they're there on his fucking Facebook. Are you kidding me, dude? And two bitches, including
Andy in my chat said that he recorded that and he gave it to Chicken on a Stick, and he gave it to who was the other Shay. He gave it to Shay and Chicken on a Stick. So he recorded his own son in an attempt to hurt Jody Sue. That's what she's talking about. Ooh, yeah, Mama. I'd love it. I love getting recipes. We should do that. We should have a night where we share recipes. That would be fun. My daughter-in-law is such an amazing cook. I'll give it to her. She could cook. I like to cook too. Don't get me wrong. I'll help her, but it's something we can do together.
Who said that they're gonna annihilate me at all costs in my life and take everything from me, and no one really lied.
Yeah, I mean, they knowingly lied.
I got proof they did. Hell, even my Adrian's dumbass posted the other picture.
I got proof they lied to me and then lied to somebody else about the lie they told me. It just never stopped. Once I saw one lie, I realized that these stupid bitches.
What the fuck are they in it for, Keyz?
I do not know. That's the question.
I'm told one wants fame and one was just blackmailed into it and one whatever. And
I mean, they were, and I feel bad because no one had a power around to get them where they were than me. Because what if they
somebody was
helping them? It was benign.
Benny, that's not true. It was Scott that built them up. Scott was putting out their new movie and their documentary, and everybody saw up to Adrian and Jenny. Actually, you were months later. Scott brought them here. He built them up.
do you know who? Some arrested or not. None.
Things back, I look. Too many things Fizzle was involved in that she never willingly came and told me.
She's a liar, dude. I know she's a liar. I know what she did to me.
She very well may be. And there's just a lot of things.
Maybe I heard that wrong the first time. Too many things. Fizzle. Let's listen again.
Some arrested or not. None.
Things back, I look. Too many things Fizzle was involved in that she never willingly came and told me.
She's a
Too many things Fizzle's involved in that she never came and told me. I missed that when I listened the first few times. There's other things about Fizzle. Just wait.
liar, dude. I know she's a liar. I know what she did to me.
She very well may be. And there's just a lot of things. And she led me to Tiffany, and then there's Carl involved, and I don't trust any of these people. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm enemies with Fizzle. I still call her and talk to her about the Dallas Mavericks or Sleet and Rain, but I don't talk to her about any of this stuff. And in fact, the things she wants.
There it is. He still talks to her. Even though she's lied to her, but he still calls her and talks to her, but he don't talk to her about nothing important. After all the fighting and making everybody hate Penny, now he wants everybody to, he's sitting there like, I still talk to Fizzle. He just put her down in one breath, and then in the next says, but we still talk. Let's listen to that again.
Because what if
somebody was
helping them? It was benign.
Do you know who?
Hold on. She's like a statue. It's the one thing that drives me crazy.
Some arrested or not.
Richard Dix himself.
None.
Things back, too many things Fizzle was involved in that she never willingly came and told me.
She's a liar, dude. I know she's a liar. I know what she did to me.
She very well may be. And there's just a lot of things. and then she led me to Tiffany, and then there's Carl involved, and I don't trust any of these people. Now that doesn't mean that I'm enemies with Fizzle. I still call her and talk to her about Dallas Mavericks or Sleet and Rain, but I don't talk to her about any of this stuff. And in fact, the things she wants to talk about don't have anything to do with Summer. So
now he doesn't trust Tiffany. He said, I don't trust any of these people, which led me to Tiffany. I don't trust any of these people. That's what he's telling Jody Sue. But I still talk to Fizzle. We just don't talk about Summer's case. I'll check it. Thank you. So make this make sense after he come out here attacking Penny the way he did. Now, why are they still talking? After all the trouble with the PIs, doesn't make sense, does it? All right, let's finish listening.
I don't talk to anyone, and as the days go by, I literally have not looked at YouTube other than to put a new song on about it. I unsubscribe to every motherfucker. I only have 2 subscriptions, and those are my 2 channels.
Yeah.
So when I go on YouTube, I don't see anything. And that's the only way that I can protect my sanity and my divorce, right?
Right.
Because I cannot have a CPS case while this divorce. It will definitely make me have supervised visits if I get a CPS case.
Yeah.
They already asked for it.
Well,
And we've already countered with a different petition because no one's ever asked that. Just for the weirdest shit. They asked for what's this, a week and 1 hair follicle per month, and they've never done one of those things.
yeah.
They've never done any of the crazy shit. So I can't have it. I'm all the way done with it. And I God showed me some stuff in the past few days that it's like I can't ignore it. So I know that
I'm not here. I don't know why I should have cut that out, but I wanted to leave the whole call in. I'm not here to attack Benny and his kid, and I hope that him and his wife have worked through some of their problems and that Benny's able to see his son now, because if I remember correctly, his son being on lives, he was the cutest little thing. And Benny seemed to really love his son a lot. So I have no shame in my game in saying it. I wish the best for Benny, but you do catch him. Just like now where we just caught him talking about I still talk to Fizzle even though I don't trust her. And that led me to Tiffany, and I don't trust Tiffany either because I don't trust any of these people is what he said. Odd statements to Jody Sue.
you have to disclaim that because I have been a real piece of shit online. And I'll also credit that many of these things some of these things I've been involved in have come from people that I thought I trusted.
Casey, does Benny send you, or do you do this on your own? Because you're the only one that has been attacking me in his chat and mine. He's been very cordial with me, and I'm trying to work through things, and I think that you need to fucking chill, and I'm done with it. I have, no respect for you, so now you're going to be banned because you don't know how to be kind. You don't know how to have a normal fucking conversation with anybody. You think you rule the fucking YouTube. Peace.
Because I'm kind of like you. When it was with the West Boys and with Cash Turner, I did not pay attention to the internet. I don't answer comments. I don't go through hard shit. I don't know what people are digging up underneath me or around.
You know what? The CPS report Benny's talking about is old too, isn't it, Casey? This is a conversation with somebody who could be a suspect or a witness in the Summer Wills case who's not found. To me, it's not old. It won't be old till there's justice served for Summer. Fuck off kindly.
Down here above me, I'm gonna really disconnect myself because I'm commenting to 1,000 people in the morning time. Then they're gonna reply back, and I just answer comments all day. I don't do comments.
Yeah.
I have thought about taking my summer stuff down. I don't know how anyone feels about that. I know AB did, and AB's, I don't agree with the dude. I don't like him. But what he said is that these things have a shelf life. And in some strange way, I agree. Because after seeing...
They do have a shelf life, Benny. Usually something will go away, but it's up to us to keep Summer's face out there. You can't give up on something you started. Aren't we taught that in life? Not to give up? I'm glad you're back covering Summer, and I think your material you've been covering has been excellent. I'm not saying it hasn't. I like your new attitude, although I still see a little bit of the old Benny creeping out from time to time. And I still have questions about that lawsuit. I'm not trying to be rude. I would like to have a conversation with you. I personally think you owe it to me after all the hell you have put me through. Yes, I apologize for calling your probation officer, but Benny, I was being doxxed by the people you were in cahoots with. You announced my lawsuits. You caused damage to my personal life. However, I'm a big girl and I could pull my big girl panties up. And I can forgive, but I want answers. I've been asking and asking and asking. Yeah, little Dev, anybody who comes in and is cool, you're good. I'll let you know if I need any links dropped. You could, if you want, you could share Jody Sue's last live because that's what we're watching. And I'm not even going to go through any more of it. I've already been on 32 minutes and I haven't even got to the bulk of what I actually want to cover. Some things Benny said and then put it with what Ziggy did. Because I think this guy Benny had on his channel was a little truthful. However, it pulls out Ziggy's lies. So I'm a little confused. Was it Lolita that gave the CPS report, or has Ziggy and Benny and everybody been lying to us? Or was it actually Doug M? Why do I block Casey? Because Benny, every time she comes over here, she says what I'm putting out is misinformation and quit this. And when I come into your chat, she's rude to me and she's the only person being rude. I'm just tired of her rudeness. We can have a conversation without attacks, and she's the only one that comes over here attacking. However, I do want to have a conversation with you, and whenever you're ready, if you would like to grab the link, you can grab the link. There you go. There's a link. No fighting. Keep it kosher, please. No porn bombing like Andrew Hiltz. Hold on, we're waiting for Benny. Praying for your son's gas. Give me 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. Take your time. I'll put Jody on till you come up.
What they were able to get my daughter to pay my daughter to say about me. I mean, they said I raped a 14-year-old, but didn't call the police. They just only told YouTube. And no one from YouTube has ever called and said, hey, man, you need to investigate this guy.
Well, the big swath of changes over the past few days with a lot of channels and the extreme cleansing, I feel like chasing's behind it. It's got to do with they want to cleanse the fuck shit drama aspect of it for the upcoming book deals of 2020, the datelines, the Netflixes, while they cleanse Dawn and Candace's image online and try to show that everybody's lying on poor Dawn and flip script and all this shit. And here's the thing, Keyz, whether they had anything to do with summer arrest or not, Dawn's still a piece of shit, and so's Candace. I'm not even.
Rich that needs to be run over with a
Clarity, you might want to run back to Chase thing, and you might want to stop that in my chat.
Hold on 1 minute, Benny. Something I wanted to say about this is QWERTY is one of the ones that was donating very big, huge amounts of fucking money. So it's odd. However, this QWERTY doesn't look like the same QWERTY from back when the marathon was going on. Because this one that Jody's addressing had lowercase letters and numbers after. The QWERTY that would donate tons and tons of money was all capital letters, and it was just QWERTY. Okay. Hey, Benny.
How you doing, Miss Crystal?
I could be better.
What happened?
But I'm doing okay. So before anything, I'd really like to know information on the Linda shit.
On the what?
Linda, the lawsuit, how intertwined you were with her.
Yeah, I don't even know. I thought the lawsuit was with some lady named Chicken on a Stick or something.
Benny, I have clips of you announcing Miss Linda's lawsuit and the Sullivan County website, and before I even
Yeah, I mean, if it's on the website, then that's all I know is what's on the website. I never talked to that lady. I never emailed with that lady. I never texted with that lady at all. Not one time.
But you would have had to, because
How would I have to?
Because how would you have known that the lawsuit even existed before I even knew it existed?
Because there was people sharing it on community tabs. It's been so long ago now, I couldn't tell you who it was, but she was in contact with many, many people that were sharing this stuff before I knew about it. I just picked it up because you and I was, occasionally having words, here and there. And I think mainly the only reason I ever had any words with you was I think my opinion, some of the ideas you had about how how people were interconnected, I didn't agree with. And that's just a matter of opinion, really, right? So, I know that you kind of went after me a little bit here and there, and maybe still a little bit now about Karen Renfro. I have, to the best of my ability, fully looked in and researched everything about Karen Renfro, down to the chicken fighting and all of that other stuff. And I as I remember, I may have even reached out to people in the community about it, like PIs and different things. Like, who is this Karen? Who is this Karen?
Can I say something to you?
Yeah,
Can I?
sure,
While you were gone, I discovered that Karen Renfro and I share cousins.
Yeah.
And it's real. It's 100% real. I've met Karen in my past lives as a child.
Uh-huh.
And I know she's a Morlock. And can I ask you, have you read Karen and mine's text messages?
I haven't. Like I said before, when I was dealing with Don and Candace, specifically, with nobody else, there was so much on the internet that I wasn't even privy to. Some of it I was able to circle back and, find out about, but there's still things to this day that I hear about that I never even knew about. And I'm like, wow, well, that's all new. Here we are looking at 5 years later. Like, that's all new, I heard, but right before I came on, I heard you mention, am I lying about the CPS? I learned about the complexities of the
No,
CPS stuff. Huh?
no. You misunderstood. I don't think you're lying. I
Oh,
think
okay.
Ziggy lied. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Ziggy,
Yeah.
because here's what Ziggy did. She came out here and told us this lady gave her the CPS report. But
Yes.
in your conversation with Mark, is that his name?
No, Griff.
Griff. In
Yeah.
your conversation with Griff, he had said that Doug had given the information. And that's when I commented in your chat yesterday, like, wait a minute, I thought it was Lolita.
Well, no, so Lolita was, as I understand, and it's been ironed out to me, Lolita was the person that I guess you could say impersonated the actual CPS worker. So and I've never even heard the call or any of that, but like any of the texts that you see, they were either, in my opinion, they were either text between Ziggy and herself or Ziggy and this Lolita person. This Lolita person may or may not be a local there. In addition to that, Lolita allegedly, I hate using that word, but allegedly had played a bad actor in many different scenarios where they needed someone to impersonate another character. Lolita was sort of this go-to. Now, I don't know that to be the truth in anything other than just the CPS stuff with Ziggy. Now, there were some things that Griff shared with me that are really inconsequential, but um, I looked at it. And I'm not even a bit above saying that those texts came from Doug directly. But Doug has, since I've known him, been the curator of fake texts, fake documents, and it's his MO to create a fake document and then try to pass it off to somebody else and have them, try to legitimize it as being fact. And so and at this point, Griff has no reason to lie about it. Now, it was corroborated that the Doug involvement was corroborated by other people. But to me, it was a complete mystery, right? Like I heard about the CPS stuff way back a long time ago, but not when it happened. I heard about it at a subsequent time, later on. Then when I circled back to it, in fact, the name Lolita, it only came up to me a week ago or so. And so it's not as if, when my deal last night, Miss Crystal, it wasn't like I thought I was bringing brand new information to the internet, because Griff even said, like, no, I've talked about this. So I never never wanted to make people think I was so naive to think I was bringing new information. However, I felt like it was kind of maybe a split, like maybe 50-50 or 60-40. Like, there's a lot of people that did not know Doug was involved in the fabrication and that. Yeah. So
Right.
that was really my interest in it, because it showed how far the tributaries went, right? Like how the fingers really reached out there, and it came from weird places. And I think that the reason I also found it very interesting was because Ziggy has been like, there's so much Ziggy has done to me that I still probably don't even know. I mean, but I know calling the police, and I'm sure she's probably done some CPS stuff, yada, yada, yada. But to understand that this came from Doug, right? Like, and Doug has just really always done the most, right? He created fake documents, fake text between me and Monica Sherrod. And, it's just been on and on and on and on with Doug. And so I find it, wild. Now, to be honest with you, my main objective in all of this was to do one of two things, right? It was, go ahead, I'll get it. I'll bring it in. It was to get to open the eyes of the people, because it's such a revolving door around there, right? Like, I think a lot of us, we have our mainstay people, our friends, our supporters. They don't
Wait,
come and go, they stay, right?
can I
Ziggy
ask
is,
you a
go ahead.
question? Do you remember? Because I have reservations about Doug myself. Okay, many.
Huh.
First, fuck off. The dude, their relationship with Josh and Chris M was extremely strange to me. And then the way Josh and Doug just, I mean, Josh and Chris just turned on Doug was odd to me. And then you have Shay Safe Place constantly in Doug's chat as if they were best friends, supporting him, modding for him. Doug being from California, you know, Dawn did some shit in California back in the 90s. So it worries me that maybe he may have known Dawn in a past life, or even Chris M, because for me, Chris M has a hard on big time. And I just feel like this fight between Josh, Doug, and Chris M was very unexpected and strange. And I'm trying to put the timing to it of the CPS report coming out, because I think with Doug having that information, is Lolita even real?
So as I understood it, Lolita was one of the jerks, one of the circle jerk ladies.
Oh,
So
like six up? No, six up's a circle jerk, right?
no, she's not. She just is. You know, she knows. I think her name is Miss Eliza, Miss Pearl, Devere. That's really all that's the only two jerk ladies that I know, other than this potential Lolita person. Now, I don't know her. She could be on a she could be on a panel with me tomorrow. I don't know her voice. I don't know anything about her. And she kind of seems like, I don't remember the lady. Some lady that people said was my sister that lived in Allen, Texas. Like one of those personalities that's a part of it, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're gone. Like you don't see them no more, kind of deal, right? Kelly Fustos, that was her name. Like one of those personalities, right? And everyone tries to link them to everybody else, and you know,
Speaking
I
of
think
Fustos, speaking of Fustos, Benny, this is important for me. Okay. You do know that the We Can Bring You Hope people are all people I know in real life, right?
no. And I spoke with the We Hope people. I spoke with her one time on the telephone, and we had I let her talk. I just was listening to what she had to say, but I already knew that this lady had been putting out flyers with her own phone number on it, asking for tips. I am super against that, because that's, you know, I call it tip funneling, right? You know, and it starts to look like reward chasing, and it doesn't look like, you know, this Michelle lady, she's not equipped or qualified to handle police tips. Like the tips don't need to, huh?
Michelle, can I tell you something about Michelle?
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
don't know if it's the same exact Michelle, but there's another Michelle connected to We Can Bring You Hope. I never seen a picture of her. But this Michelle in the same area I live in right now has a brother who's missing. And this Michelle made posters for We Can Bring You Hope for her brother who's missing, and did the same thing, funneled the tips to her,
Yeah.
put the wrong name for the police department. And I have been in contact with the police here in Pittsburgh, talking to them about what they've been doing, and they are 100 million trillion % being looked into. 1,000%. I have phone calls. The detective's name, and I know it's going to sound like fake because it's a politician name, but it's Michael Flynn in the Pittsburgh Missing Persons Detectives Unit.
Mm-hmm.
You're always welcome to reach out to him and ask him yourself. But there was something I had caught you had said to Tim in your Tim conversation, which was or maybe in one of your videos, we had to hire the Hope Foundation. Tim paid you to hire the Hope Foundation or something. I need to know, Benny, was there truth?
So like the whole
Wait, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Let me finish. The people from this organization I know in my real life are not good people.
No, I believe they're not. I think that they're probably vultures to some degree, but I guess, people watching all of this transpire could say, all of us are vultures, whatever they want to say. You would have to play that clip for me again because I don't remember ever saying that. Now, there was so many messages and cranky video clips and live streams done saying that Tim Mullins was paying me and this and that. That was a troll. It was the same as when I was in Colorado and people were like, "Oh, look, he's in Tennessee." No, I was in Colorado. Tim Mullins never paid me $1, and I can tell you that. I'll turn my can. Tim Mullins never paid me $1. In fact, Tim Mullins is on a very fixed income. He receives Social Security, and he lives with his parents, and he doesn't have fluid money. And there was a point in time where I had offered Tim. Go ahead.
That's not true because he gets paid for his media magazine he does in Kingsport. And I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I think that that's all sort of like a
he also
like a volunteer basis, right? It's not a publication. He's not selling actual newspapers or magazines. I think that he maybe made a little money doing his drone realtor stuff. I don't even know how active that was. But I there was just things that I saw that I was like, hey man, I can help you with a little funding for printing flyers or this or that. And he would not take a dime from me. I'd tell you because the stuff with me and Tim, it didn't end well, but I'm certainly not going to lie on the man,
I don't think he's a good man, and I don't think that he's poor either. I think that he gets royalties from his Christian music, and he's been in the media business for a long time. That's why he was able to use his credentials to say he's a media manager for the Wells. I don't think Tim is not well-to-do at all. As a matter of fact,
No,
I've
he's
seen
not.
videos of him. I don't think he's poor, but I don't think he's rich. I don't think that he doesn't have an income. But something I would like to ask you about is him being involved in Summer's case. You heard Candace say to you in the phone call with her that Tim ain't right in the head and Tim's been to the mental ward several times.
Yeah, he deals with and I think I haven't spoken with him in a couple of years, but Tim, like a lot of us, deals with some severe depression if he's not, on his medicine, correctly, or if his doses are maybe wrong. I don't know, but he just dealt with some pretty severe depression.
Right, and I have depression. I get
Yeah.
that. I'm not attacking Tim
No.
by any means. However, what I do want to say about that is this the kind of man that should be media managing?
So, I don't know I don't think there's any qualifications for, this is my opinion, of course, Crystal. I don't think there's anybody that you don't have to have qualifications. I think your qualifications is to be that in that spotter position is really just compassion, right? I think out of all the people on the internet that would call themselves advocates, we're really just activists, right? We come on here and we use dirty language, we curse people out. Tim Mullins is probably as close to what someone would term an advocate. Now, the interesting part about Tim is that most of the things that people think they know about Tim, they've spun from what things look like on the internet or what they just want to put out about him in furtherance of their agenda. I can tell you that in that community, Tim Mullins is he's thought of in a very high light, right? So, people could say what they want to about that community that holds him in reverence, but I don't think that community is crazy different than any other community, right? It has its issues, but Tim he's holding reverence there. So, I also
think about, okay, so something else I had caught was Penny didn't want to talk to the PIs for some reason. See, you wanted everybody to listen for the cameras and the videos, but I was listening for other shit. I'm really curious, where do you stand with Penny today? Because I'm confused what I'm showing right here with Jody Sue. You had said that you don't trust Penny, you don't trust Tiffany. However, you were still talking to Penny even after all of the big fighting.
No,
With Tiffany.
the any contact I had with Penny, sort of after the business split, it was very few and far between, and it was really had nothing to do with Summer Wells. It had to do with finalizing business between her and I, like AdSense stuff, like taxes, stuff like that. And then once those were completed, I didn't have any further contact with her.
Where do you think the PIs stand? Because I have reservations about Penny. Big reservations about Penny based on what you and Tiffany had said. Now, that's number one. Number two, Twister's been coming into my chats, and Twister's been saying that the PIs are bad. You don't trust them. It's all clout chasing. And that they
I would have
didn't
to
really.
agree. I would agree with Twister because I would tell you that so the Colberts or the Colberts, however you want to pronounce it, they like to say that, you know, they kind of made their name by finding a previous missing person that had taken their own life. That's not the facts. The facts of the matter is they were directed to a probable place in a holler, and they ended up finding this individual deceased in a vehicle by his own hand. That being said, when it came to the Megan Boswell case, they went on WJHL and they offered their services pro bono. And so I think, you know, there's some clout chasing going on in there, but I would also tell you that firsthand while I was in Tennessee, I watched the Colberts actually doing business, right? They're over here droning, they're over there droning, they're in front of the computer reviewing the footage, they're talking to these people, they're talking to those people. You know, and I think that you know, a lot of my feelings for them was based around the wife's activities, right? So the PI, his wife, anytime like PG or certain people were tearing Candace up in these live streams, this lady, and I don't even know who else, if I knew I would tell you, but they had a little group and they would go and they would troll. And I always told myself, I thought to myself, like, this lady's a PI, right? She's really on safari. For her, and I say safari, like if you watch the cheetah eating a baby gazelle, you don't jump out of the safari truck and go stop them. You're letting it, you have to let it play out as it's supposed to, right? You have to
So
let things progress.
I
And
feel I was somebody attacked in that group of people, and that you just cleared something up for me because I didn't know that his wife was doing that.
I couldn't
So
tell you what her troll, I couldn't tell you her troll names. I don't know any of that stuff. I just
no, but
know that some of it happened. I don't know how
I
frequently,
I
you
feel like
know.
she had a group of women from Rogersville around her or in Tennessee that support her. I feel like Music City Mom would be one of them, and the Meffins that Jody Sue talks about a lot. I have felt the wrath from these people on my Facebook. They have doxed and they have gone extreme real life, just like Linda and Chicken on a Stick has for no good fucking reason
Yeah.
whatsoever. Because all I did to Linda was put a rooster video out about Karen Renfro, which was not finished.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. People were forcing me to fucking play it after I played a little bit of it just to show a preview of what I was working on.
Mm-hmm.
And it stemmed out way further them Renfro. Renfro wasn't even my subject of it. What it was to show what was going on in Rogersville, the activities that take place in the fucking area. And Linda had come into my messages and was harassing me for this video. Now, after that, there was the 13-hour call with you and Tiffany and Gavel and Krama and everybody else. And
Now, I was asleep for about 9 or 10 hours of that call. Like, I was passed out. It happened, I want to say, was it Discord? I don't remember where it actually happened, but no. It was on a StreamYard, I guess it was. A private StreamYard. I had set up the StreamYard private stream, but then fell asleep. And when I woke up, they were still going.
How did it become part of the 13-hour call?
How did what become part of the 13-hour call?
You. How did you become a part of the third? Because you just
I was just saying.
Wait, let me finish. You just got done telling me you never had a conversation with Linda prior to my lawsuits. However, that would be proof that you have.
No, I just said I was asleep. She was there the whole. It was whoever, Gavel and me and Adrian. There was a few of us talking. At some point, she came in. I fell asleep. I don't know how long Linda was there. What I do know is that the way that it wasn't being recorded, it was just a portal for people to talk. However, I don't remember who was recording, but the way that it was being recorded, it didn't get all of the participants. So it was like it needed 2 parts of a recording in order to make the whole, so you could hear all the voices, if that makes sense. I still to this day can't.
When Gavel put it out, she sped it up and she did all kinds. I got all the parts of it that she had put out. However, she sped it up and made it so that it wasn't understandable, which is really fucking crazy to me, because why have that call in the first place? Here's a woman who's being bullied by.
Well, I mean, I think common sense would be if it was sped up. It was because it was 13 hours. And you speed it up to get an quick. As soon as you get into the YouTube, just slow it down, right?
Yeah, no, but it's understandable, is what I'm saying. They made it so.
Yes, if you put it back down to 0.5 or 0.5, then it returns to its regular speed.
Yes, I haven't done that yet. I plan to.
Yeah, try that. That will definitely straighten it out.
But anyways, that's not even my thing. My thing is that it's showing that Linda's involved in other things. And for me, she was attacking Renfro. Do you understand? When she came to me in one of my Rooster video and all the information about Renfro and was demanding it from me, and then she's going to turn around and place a lawsuit on me. But anyways, about the 13-hour call, I didn't want to get into all of that. I believe it was Penny that was showing it. And I had gone in and had said something that somebody named B.A. Young told me about Linda way back in July of 2021, which was Linda had stated she smelled decomposition on Dawn's job site. So that was disturbing to me, and that's what I had said in the chat, and that's when my lawsuits came.
I think that your situation with the lawsuit was just sort of the prelude to, I mean, this is now these communities, all the true crime communities overlap, and from Queen Bee to Bullhorn Betty to the Brittany J lady to the grannies watching, it's all true crime. It's not necessarily, centralized over Summer Wells, but this is the lawsuit community now. It's, you say.
For me, it's more than a lawsuit. I don't even give a fuck about the lawsuit because I knew it was unattainable to begin with. However, the thing that bothers me is that her attorney was harassing me pretty much. I would write him and he would write me back like weird, like not professional type messages. And in one of the last messages he wrote me, it was that they had found out I had a tower and a power somewhere in Tennessee. like strange shit, which could actually be true when you put my Morlock aspect of the family in, because I am absolutely 100% connected to people down in Tennessee. I have discovered it's not a fucking joke, and then people are connected to organized criminal shit. So then it becomes scary to me, because it goes into like where maybe Fred and Phelan were shooting at each other. It's that type of criminal KKK type shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So, however, I love my cousins very, very much. And I know that they're also Karen Renfro's cousins and possibly Karen Elliott's husband's cousins. Since her last name is Elliott. And Karen Elliott has played many games with 6 Up. And I think that Ziggy and 6 Up's fights are fucking fake as fuck. And Ziggy and 6 Up.
Oh, no. I could tell you that they're not. I can attest to that. Yeah.
But
I'll be right back. No, go ahead.
When you look at it,
Go ahead.
6 Up started with the circle jerks. That's where 6 Up started. And then I was being harassed here on the home front by people TPE knows in real life. Somebody named Lenny Vargo. And
can I ask you something real quick? Do you know who TPE is in real life? Because you would have to know who she is in real life to know who she's related to, right?
No, but what I could tell you is that she was writing me behind the scenes, and that she begged me to never make her show her face because she couldn't show it. It was very odd behavior, and she has friends with people who do not follow Summer Will's case up here in Pittsburgh, connected to the We Can Bring You Hope people that I know in real life. Somebody named Chris Trott and somebody named Lenny Vargo, who was absolutely harassing me over this Summer Will's case with a man named Boogeyman from Kingsport, Tennessee. And then my friend Chris Trott pinged on his Facebook his location of Kingsport the day Layla Santinella went missing. Now, these are all people connected to We Can Bring You Hope and Kelly Fustos, who is absolutely cousins with my best man at my wedding, Rob DeMuth. So this is my research, and these people are from Pittsburgh, and it is real. A lot of them are from a town called Glassport. Some are from Plum Borough. Some are from Butler County, where this Isaiah 117 house opened their second shop. They're not good people, Benny. Like, this is real shit here in Pittsburgh. Criminal judge involved type shit that I know about my own life and people that surround me my whole life, because I am from the fucking hood. Okay? And I mean white hood, not black hood. Like, I did grow up in all kinds of fucking places. However, the main place I grew up in was a place called Glassport, Pennsylvania. And the director of We Can Bring You Hope's name is Roxanne DeFelice. And I caught her grandchild out here playing fuck shit games in Summer's case.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is all real life fucking shit where people are out here saying I'm fucking crazy, and I'm listening to a call where you're telling Jody I'm crazy. But no, truth is, Benny, I was just a little fucking blown away by the people I was fucking finding connected to the We Can Bring You Hope people that are down there playing fuck stick games and Dawn and fucking Candace's missing child's case.
Yeah.
It was a reaction to the people I know in my real life. My father has borderland, Benny, and these people connect to me, is what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
My father, JLR, did a video on my father's borderland. Did you know that? He found my father's borderland and was sent there. I believe Chris McDonough sent him there. I believe there's more to Chris McDonough. That's my opinion. And I believe that he is where the We Can Bring You Hope motherfuckers came from. However, I really did think it was from you and Tim, and I will play the clip. I'll find it and I'll play it again so that you can hear it, because I'm very confused about it.
Yeah, I'm confused. I mean, if you could even email me that portion, separately from everything else, just where I could hear it, maybe give it some context, because I was pretty adamant from the beginning about you know, in my inner circle, because I'm one of those, I don't believe everything's for the internet. But I was very adamant that whoever was behind the gears of the We Bring Hope, they weren't good people. You know, they're funneling tips and this and that. And then pretty early on, they gave a platform to Ernie Shell to do all of his BS, you know, and
And I can
that
connect them directly to cousins of Ernie Shell. But yeah, go ahead. You can go ask Ernie who the Gelkers are. Go ahead.
I don't even think that Ernie even knows what he's even doing anymore. But,
No, he's a
you
mess.
know,
You see
with
you see what he's doing. He's acting like a homeless fucking person in New York, panhandling for fucking money on YouTube. And I believe he really just left Pennsylvania to go to fucking New York. And I'm telling you, he has admitted to knowing the people. I have asked him. And there's a man named Bam that's connected to Christy motherfucking Vincent. And there's a phone call with Linda on it where where Chase is on the phone call with Linda. And somebody's like, or Chase is like, oh, I just, Bam keeps hitting me up. Bam this, Bam that. Well, Bam is my fucking stepfather's fucking best friend in real life. And I went to Bam. I didn't even realize you were gone.
Ed booted me out for some reason.
I went to Bam and Bam told me he knew Ernie. So then I went to Ernie on panel and asked Ernie, did he know him? And Ernie said, yeah. So I can connect Ernie directly to the little fucking town where the We Can Bring You Hope people come from.
Well, you know, I think I would be, you know, and that's where I would have to interject really quick. Ernie says he knows Donald Trump Jr. and he knows, you know, Matt Rife.
No, but Benny,
know.
what you don't understand is Bam told me he knows Ernie.
Yeah, I don't.
That's what I'm saying to you. I speak to Bam. I know him in real life. His name is Benny Keyz. And he's somebody who knows Ernie, and I don't know how. However, I do know that there's a Neil Gowker who knows Ernie through the wrestling world.
Yeah, maybe. You know, he.
No, Ernie has said it. Ernie has told me he knows these people.
Yeah.
And these people have told me they know Ernie, if you catch what I'm saying.
Yeah. I just, you know, all of these things, and then I think that at some point you have to be able to factor in the plus or minus of trolling, right? I don't know what is a troll, what's not a troll, but
no. What I'm saying to you is I have spoken face to face with people.
oh yeah, no. I don't mean just specifically about Ernie Shell. I just mean like widespread, you know, like I couldn't go back and tell you that everything somebody has told me that I've talked to since I've been on the internet talking about Summer Wells haven't trolled me at some point, you know?
What you said was the We Can Bring You Hope people were giving him a platform.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm saying when I'm talking about the trolling.
I'm telling you that's because Ernie already knew that.
No, I think that, and that could be my opinion with the We Bring Hope and Ernie was that Ernie alleged that he, you know, the whole racetrack thing, that was what put Ernie on my radar, right? Like Ernie is there with a dog and he's saying, you can hear Ernie audibly say that the police have already verified that the scent that their dog is on was Summer Wells' scent and that they told him to go ahead and search it. Like that was, you know, it wasn't even the picking up of the evidence with their hands and putting it in the bags. It wasn't none of that. It was,
for me, it was the hotel. He went to a hotel and put people on a camera, and he was saying Summer Wells was in the hotel.
I mean, yeah, he's done a lot of deplorable things. So for me, like that's why I had to just exit out. You know, I don't have no problems with Ernie currently, or even
Speaking of the racetrack, I also remember early on Don Wells saying that he was in contact with Dusty. Well, Dusty was the one Ernie was going to meet, and he also met Kathy along the way and received a folder from Kathy, and he wouldn't show the contents of the folder. And to me, that's just, I mean, I'm not forcing him to show it, but if you're meeting with people who's been playing games with Dawn and Candace this whole time, going and visiting, and then they're going to the racetrack and everybody's fucking psychic and Then you have the Bill Bondsmith who was on White Boys, who was saying that Candace was coming out of the woods, Lady Justice, and Ernie is also friends with her. And he also was involved with the chip from it's just all the marathon and money shit. I'm not accusing We Can Bring You Hope of taking Summer. I don't think that's the case. However, I do believe, I don't know, my dad's borderland into it and what I know about these people up here, like coke deals and shit like that. Like, I'm really just saying it now because I don't give a fuck no more. Fuck all of them who has played games here in Pittsburgh with my real fucking life. But anyways, when you put together that Dawn was talking to Dusty, Ernie was talking, it's just all strange.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, you have.
Dawn's been so against all of the psychics since day one. However, he's the one talking to Donna Serafina. He's the one talking to Dusty. He's the one bringing Juanita there, then talking about there's gunplay at the bottom of the hill with the psychics.
Yeah. I don't know how much of, when it comes to the psychics, like I don't even invite that energy into my life. And, I just refuse to. Not only that, but like you see these bad things happening to these psychics, and it's the same go-to comment. It's like, so you're psychic, but you didn't know this was getting ready to happen. Like it's beyond anything I can comprehend. So I think that the whole psychic value of any of this is, and I don't curse, but it's horseshit, right? Like as soon as you hear a psychic say they know something, run the other way, because they don't even know what's going to happen in their own lives, let alone they always see. And the thing about psychic stuff, Crystal, they only know after the fact, right? They're all in tune. Why can't they warn Don and Candace before their daughter goes missing? They only know what happens after they go missing, right? Like it's all horseshit. It's fake. It's fake.
I know people think I'm fucking nuts, but I'm going to tell you something about my life. My father was in a cartel when I was a kid, and I don't know what he did throughout my life growing up because we weren't close. He was a little bit crazy, and it was because he was in an accident where he was hit by a snowplow, and it caused damage to him, and he won a lawsuit for almost $1 million, and we moved to Miami and right to Surfside and Bell Harbor. You can look up what was going on in 1981 down there in that area. And it was my father's best friend's home, so he had already his whole life gone down there and visited and knew these people. Okay?
Yeah.
So my father did these crazy things. Something I had found out. Here's Ziggy, Mary, and Fred Hill, who's Karen Elliott's brother, who is definitely connected to my fucking family. Okay, 100% cousins of mine. We share cousins. I'm not cousins with the people in Rogersville. However, my cousins are, if that makes sense. Their mother married my uncle, okay, and had babies together.
Mm-hmm.
So she is from Rogersville, Tennessee. Her name is Rosemary Elliott.
Okay.
Anyways, so, or Morlock. It's one or the other. She's both. However,
stand up.
Ziggy marries Fred, but Ziggy also grew up 1 block away from my father in Miami, where her father was president of condominiums. And my father has borderland. He wasn't a good man, Benny. When I tell you he was a drug runner, it's true.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I mean, I have a history too. We all do. I think that a lot of people try to put a lot of weight and importance on what this relationship is or isn't between Fred and Ziggy. And I think that I can simplify it for everyone by saying that Ziggy saw an opportunity. Fred is nothing more than a nominal paycheck. That's all it is. There isn't any bigger conspiracy to it. I don't think that Fred,
I disagree, and I'm going to tell you why. Her green card marriage tells me that, for one. Number two, it tells me she was involved with that type of shit down in Miami in her drug days, as she calls it. That's number one. Number two, she lived 1 block away from my father, who had a green card marriage at the same exact fucking time Ziggy did. Now, with that said, my father was also married to a woman who owned a psychic shop right around the corner from where Ziggy lived.
Yeah.
They train people to fake psychic motherfuckers. That's why I know the shit isn't true. I grew up around it.
Yeah, it's all a farce.
There are psychic fucking networks, and I do believe Ziggy is part of that and being a handler for fucking Fred right now because of the ties she has to my family, who has ties to real life fucking life cartels. It's not a fucking lie. Okay? My father was a very bad fucking guy. That's why I didn't have much contact with him. He beat my mother. He beat me and my sister. He sold drugs. He did all. I remember a story. We were stuck in a cab and a cartel member had to come save me and my sister because my dad was about to get fucking arrested because he was toting around motherfucking prostitutes down in Miami.
Yeah.
Like true life fucking shit I lived through. It's not a fucking lie, and I'm not fucking crazy. You could look at my father's information and see I'm not.
I believe
now, here's the thing though. Ziggy's close relation to my father and these green card marriages really causes concern for me with a fucking Karen Elliott.
Yeah. I can, I guess I will say that I can being politically correct, just say that I agree to disagree with you, and that's okay. People can have differing opinions. And that's because you you know a whole lot more about Ziggy and all that than I do. I'm capable of looking at it at just like the surface layer, and it's just Ziggy saw an opportunity where she don't have to work. She thought she was probably gonna bump into some of this money that she thought Fred had in land, and she was gonna get Cash App and AdSense money, and look where we're at now, right? I mean, that's my opinion.
College? Do you know she went to college for math?
That's what she says, but
no, it's on her background. It's in her background. She went to college for math. She knows what Fred was getting and wasn't getting, in my opinion. She's not a stupid person. Her parents are very, very into real estate. She grew up around that. They were president and owners of condominiums. They own lots and lots of money now. I mean, not money, houses. They own land and things of that nature. And Ziggy really is not poor like she puts on. It's a facade. It's fake. She didn't grow up poor. Now, I
don't think she did.
Be poor. However, her parents have money.
I believe they do.
So for me, Ziggy already has an inheritance coming, and she doesn't need Fred's fucking money to survive. So for me, green card marriages show me that Ziggy is not against doing illegal fucking things. And that there's more to her past and background and the people she ran with in real life.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Listen, from personal experience, I grew up in that life, is what I'm saying to you. Mm-hmm. And I can spot it I can spot a gringo a fucking mile away. Dude.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. No, maybe we could have another maybe we could have another conversation here. I got the baby and he needs to be put down. So maybe tomorrow or Monday afternoon if you're available. Just if you want to email me and we can kind of set up a proper time, and that would also give me an opportunity to kind of nail down some notes.
What I would really like from you and other creators is please look into it. That's all you really have to do. Just look up my dad's information and look up Ziggy's background information, and you're gonna find the fucking connections.
Yeah.
And look up Renfro and look up Rosemary Elliott Morlock.
Stand up.
Like, it's not a fucking lie. I've been begging people.
I believe you.
Actually, Lips called somebody who was involved in it, and then she come on my panel and had the fucking audacity to say to me, why didn't you turn it in 4 years ago? Because I didn't put two and two to fuck together until I started seeing the We Can Bring You Hope motherfuckers out here. If that makes sense. But Benny, I would like to have a private conversation with you so I can tell you the type of shit that these We Can Bring You Hope people were into.
Sure.
In real life, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get it. And I definitely would entertain a conversation with you. I hate that it was so impromptu. I just was getting a couple of texts about this, that, or the other. And I was like, well, let me just kind of come over here and see what she had going on. And so I wasn't all the way prepared, to have a long drawn out conversation. And Shorty is way past his bedtime. So how about I'll email you, and I'll email you my phone number, and then we can just go from there.
Yeah, I'll give you a call tomorrow after. No, you work. How about in the evening?
I'm just on call this weekend. Monday, I'm off at 5. I'm not on call next week, so my evenings are my evenings all next week.
I will say to you, bless your soul, because I couldn't do what you're doing.
Thank you, Miss Crystal.
And I did see your article about the Christmas Eve massacre that you had to go to, and I apologize for that. I'm sorry you had to see that.
Thank you, Miss Crystal. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Seriously. Yeah, it's a lot. But I'll email you here after I get him laid down, and we'll chop it up.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. You know what? I'm just going to end the live. I didn't get to go over any of the stuff I was going to go over, which is Ziggy. I'll do that tomorrow because that took up my time. Thank you, Benny, for coming up and being cordial with me and at least listening to me, because I'm telling you, I'm not crazy. And I do know we can bring you hope, motherfuckers, in real life. Oh, and Unmasked Teresa. Let's not forget that. I worked with her. She was my fucking boss at a place called Winter's Haven. It's no longer open, but it was a nursing home. Something ain't right here. And that's what I'm trying to point out. And Benny just confirmed that Ernie was in contact with the We Can Bring You Hope people. Ernie has confirmed to me he was in contact with people that I know connect to We Can Bring You Hope in real life. And those people have, at least Bam, has confirmed to me that he knows Ernie in real life. However, I'm going to go. Thank you all for being here. Hit the like button. Benny, I will have that conversation with you, and I would really like you to research some of the things I'm saying. All right, guys. Peace and love. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.